Hi Abbey, Jenna Pinkstone here, signing on and syncing up with you today. I can say that I have attempted to do your oracle card pull 3 times already. But sometimes Spirit speaks to us in ways that lets us know that in a divine timing aspect, the best is yet to come. And I feel very strongly about this because this morning I woke up and realized that all of these visions, all of these messages that I've been receiving for you throughout the month of June, Abbey, it's time to share them, but in the oracle reading, or what you call a soul journey. That is something I have gleaned this past month of the interconnected web with which all of these offerings that all of us light bringers kind of bring to the table and give our own differing glint and glimmer to, which in this human world kind of imbues whatever these offerings are with a new name. But what I have seen and what I truly feel is, despite the differing ways that each of us embark on the soul journey or the oracle reading or the Reiki session, the attunement to something, whatever it is all one and the same experience of venturing in to an auric atmosphere, to an energy field, and merging it with that of our own. And then the next process is the absorption, the receiving process, right? And then from there, the sharing back, either to the world or to one person, with all that you have found, all that you have seen, and sharing it with them in a way that conveys in the best way that words can what that experience meant to you. So everyone does this in different ways, just as everyone expresses their own creativities through different art forms. And so I feel compelled, I feel drawn to this morning to share with you a soul journey, an oracle reading, however it is that you need or feel driven to embark on this process with me. You are the first patron of mine that I will be sharing the oracle card pull with after. And what this actually ignited within me was an excitement to see how this differing process is going to reveal and illuminate different aspects of what this reading has to provide for you today. So I thank you, Abbey, for being my patron, and I thank you for giving me your consent to venture into your auric field and provide this oracle reading to you today. Let's get started. I can say, Abbey, that in venturing into your atmosphere this week through many different processes, while I was doing dishes, while I was watering my garden, I have picked up on a very strong, very prevalent frequency that is kind of right now existing within the background of what it is present in your waking world. And that is one that it's a very old frequency. It's very ancient and ancestral to us. And in many ways, because it is so old, some of these practices of our own human lives to keep these energies alive have kind of fallen away. They've kind of, they've lost so much power. It's almost as if in Norse mythology, I've been watching the show Vikings lately, and there was a quote on there that speaks to this very much. And it is one of from a Viking who, in anger of us, of the Vikings aligning with that of the Saxons in England and forming alliances and communications and collaborations with these differing cultures, that he sees the prevalence of the Christ God as so much stronger a frequency, that if we merge with these people, our gods will be no more. The Norse gods are in much smaller ways recognized as one of power, as one of source power, one of the creative spirit. At one point in time in a certain part of the world, these gods were very prevalent in energetic form of the collective consciousness shared by all. And so we see how the practice of ritual, how the practice and the participation of many participating in a ritual, in a cleansing, in a sacrifice, in any such activity that connects and combines auric fields so as to not only generate energy, but also to channel it in a direction. And this is a very prevalent frequency just in practice. It matters not which ritual is practiced, but the practice of ritual as a way of channeling energy towards a particular intention. It is a very strong tool for human beings, even today, even with the falling away of ritual as something that we practice in gathered groups, right? And even today, especially today, how gathered groups are becoming something of the past, not only in our country, but worldwide. How this is a shift in energy, but it is important that I'm feeling spirit sharing with you that the process of taking part in a ritual has a very powerful influence over our lives as individual beings. And even though it has fallen to a background stance, it has fallen from its power, that at one time it was at the forefront of the human experience. Even though it has fallen back, the act of taking part in it, even as individuals, we are able to tap into that background sequencing, that background, and it still holds a prevalent power. What I'm almost seeing is the ripple effect of sound, okay? And if you think of it as the sound is generating, the sound is originating from one single point in space. But as it generates, perhaps in waves, a sound, a frequency, a cadence, a wavelength. From this point, as each individual pulse generates and moves, travels through space, it spreads out, it disperses, and it actually travels to more places rather than being in that one concentrated, saturated point of origin. And even though as it moves, as it spreads, it is reaching further, reaching outward to from that in a radius fashion, in a circumference shape, okay? But it becomes less powerful the further it moves, okay? This is the signature and the frequency signature of ritual. And it is something that I am guided by Spirit to share with you, that you could look more closely at and discover something of great worth to you, of great benefit to you in engaging in this frequency that is prevalent and has been prevalent long before the birth of you or I. And we as individuals can tap into that. We can dip our toe into that. And because it is of the background and not in the forefront, we are not being forced to engage in this ritual. We are not being forced to take part and participate against our will. We are not. That has been the history of most of the human experience throughout recent and of old, okay? And the ritual has changed, but the ritual has been there nonetheless, and it has been mandatory, okay? Mandatory. Whether you are of Catholic faith or of Hindu or of Islam or of the ancient old ways, ritual has been a prevalent feature of human existence throughout most of our ancestral Akash, okay? We are entering into a new and different way of being, that this ritual, it's not being removed. There are certain rituals that we must engage in, but for different reasons, right? The gods have changed shape and form, and who it is that we must pay homage to in the form of this ritual has changed as well, and why. And so, because it has moved to the background, I'm seeing because it has moved to the background, we are given more choice to step into that frequency and experience it merging and coalescing with our own energy fields. We are able to determine the manner in which we do that more now. And that is of great use to us as creators, as conduits of spirit, as channels for the creative force that interconnects us all. Okay? You know that I really do love the attunement to crystals and gemstones and features of this earth. I felt compelled all week as I was searching myself, as I was, seeping into this experience of what it is to share with you in this oracle embarkation. I have looked at my plethora of gemstones, and for the first time, none of them spoke to me with which to offer you any guidance or wisdom to attune to. And I have not done any gemstone attunements, but for some reason I felt guided to share this with you for this reading. But when no stone was revealing to me, no frequency of crystallized lattice was calling to me, I kind of felt defeated. But it was through this process that the divine timing took place, because this morning, as I was doing my morning routine in the bathroom, this stone called out to me, as well as these pearls. And it was like an epiphany, aha, eureka moment, that this stone, which is known as a hag stone or an Odin stone, and they are found all over the world, not because of the particulates and composition that this stone is comprised of. It is a sedimentary rock, but as you can see, do you see the tiny holes? The one through which the string moves through, as well as all of the smaller ones? These are found all over the world, not because of the composition, but because of the energies that they themselves have been immersed within. And I am guided to show you, Abbey, that because so many cultures across the entire globe have viewed the properties of this here fairy stone. We're going to call it a fairy stone because it sounds a lot better than a hag stone. And I did look it up. They are known as fairy stones as well as Odin stones. They're known as different things all over the world, all over the globe. But there is one prevalent understanding that because water has been allowed passage through the entirety of the rock, this is how these little portals are formed. Through the slow erosion of water embracing this form. It is understood widely across cultures, across history, that negative energy or black magic or hoodoo or whatever, wherever you are in the world, I'm going to call them ill-intentioned frequencies. Moving water is immune to them. That is an understood concept, no matter what continent you are on, where they recognize these fairy stones as portals and healers to all that ails you. And that is because these negative energies cannot pass through these portals here that are formed by that moving water. Okay, we're kind of being just transformed. We're still holding on closely to the concept of the fairy stone as a portal, the open space that is formed from the embrace of movement of water. However, we are being transformed, whisked away to something otherworldly, something out of this world, something that is more encompassing of the term. My guides don't really like using the term extraterrestrial simply because of the connotation that it that it indicates towards alien beings. You don't need to necessarily be a living, breathing being to be considered extraterrestrial. If you look at the form and the function of the word terra, terrestrial, terrain, it means land. It means soil, okay? It means substance. In these terms, because the term originated here on earth, it is referring to the soil, the land of earth. However, because we have the prefix of extra on extraterrestrial, it has the connotation of otherworldly. And we are guided to know that there are forms, there are sediments, substance, fields of matter that are created on other worlds. There are other soils, there are other stones in other worlds where this property can still exist, and does. It does. The movement of water, which I'm also guided to tell you, water did not come from Earth, by the way. It came from something extraterrestrial. Another discussion for another time. Okay. I'm actually seeing the open space inside of the fairy stone. I'm seeing it as our misunderstanding of it, as open, as blank, as void of the rock. What it actually is, this open space, is opportunity for energy to flow, for something new to be manifested, intentioned within the still embodied rock of itself. This is what a portal is. I'm guided to say that all open space is elusive. All open space, all over this galaxy, all over this universe. So we are shifting to our galaxy. We are shifting to the Milky Way galaxy to see all of the stars together. Whenever here we go. We can transport ourselves to a night in the city where there are many lights, many fabrications, many noises, many people, many sounds, many voices. There are many open spaces within the night sky for which we have a portal of vision and transportation from our spirit self to be able to access the universe, the heavens. There are open spaces between maybe 1, 2, perhaps 3 stars, the brightest that are visible to us despite all else that is going on around us. We are able to see 1 or 2 very vibrant planets that outshine that of the lights of the earth which contains us. Transport yourself to the wilderness, to an open dome sky of which your realm and scope of vision feels endless. I'm seeing the mountains. I'm seeing us up on this mountain, Abbey, that we can actually see this full panorama view, not only of the earth, but also of the heavens above. And the amount of stars here far exceeds that of the amount of stars visible to us within the city when we are immersed in lights that drown out these other stars which are visible up high in this mountain. If you transport yourself even further, the open spaces between the stars grows fewer and fewer. So much so, we actually have to move away in order to see it up close. There's an action of moving back, stepping back so that you can see the full scope before you. Not just stepping back in perspective, like, because if you have something up to your face like this, you can't see it. That's like saying you can't see the forest for the trees. However, it's also a matter of stepping back from the stimuli, stepping back from the lights, back from the city, one step at a time, away from the buildings, away from the noises, kind of bringing that void into our own hearts, feeling that void of stillness so that we can fill in the gaps that we behold. For if we do this, if we continue to step away from these things that blind us, all of a sudden, our galaxy, of which we have an address here on Earth, if we step back from the Earth, we can see that what it beholds, what it reveals to us is continuous. It is the Milky Way. It is called the Milky Way galaxy because the stars are so concentrated and close together and illumining this cosmos that we inhabit, that they truly resemble a milk stream. The open space is illusory. The open space is the portal. Wow. That was incredible, Abbey. I'm guided to tell you that this stone here, it is shown to be able to see the spirit world because of the illusory space within it. That if we're able to transport ourselves to that open space, then the entire realm of possibilities of all that is, all that ever was or will be within the Akash that we are able to access at any given time, it will all unfold before us. And the hardest thing for us to experience it will be the choices we have to make for all of the opportunities, all of the possibilities made available to us. It will not be possible to access them all within our one human life. In fact, the exponential, what I'm seeing, what I can convey to you is that the opportunities made available to us, because each of us are infinite beings and we each have many incarnations that are merely individual timeline trajectories, but they are all simultaneously occurring. It's like our lives are stars in the universe, and how they all blend together, and how if we allow our scope to be clouded with stimuli. And it is not a bad thing. This is a choice many will make, even knowing the realm of endless possibilities made available to them with the stillness and the void that they hold within themselves. That the stimuli will cloud our vision. The opportunities are all still there. The stars still inhabit the sky. All of the sky, all of the space. It is far more than the two-dimensional dome that we see before us. They are all there all the time, waiting to be realized by us. But our ability to even see if they are even there will be minimalized without that openness to receive that void that is a portal for us to access such light. This was an illuminating oracle reading, Abbey. And it is, I say this with the deepest of gratitude to you as my beloved patron, that I am grateful to you for embarking on the journey into your auric atmosphere with me. I look forward to all that will unfold with this ongoing practice between us. If you are interested in a oracle reading that is similar to Abbey's, and you, after seeing these illuminating concepts, I hope that you will join me in our Inner Soul Circle family on Patreon, or please visit my website, both links available in the descriptions of this video. It has been a pleasure connecting, and this is Jenna Pinkstone, the Southern Oracle, signing off with you today.